Mayor Kang, members of the City Council, it's a great honor to be here this evening in the safest city in America, and it's been the safest city in America, of course, for quite a number of years, and it's because it's not by accident. It's because of the great job that you do in this city, and it's because of the great job that your police department does, and it's really good and in a way soothing to see how crime statistics are going down and how violent crime is down, and many of our various crime waves that we've seen over the past several years are on the way down, and so that's certainly good. But I think that we'll all agree that there's far too much sexual predation in our communities, and just look at what we have. We have Megan's Law, Jessica's Law, Amber Alerts, Chelsea's Law. All of these things come about because of some tragic event, some horrible homicide that occurred in these cases to young girls. And those are just a few, and those are just the ones that turn into some kind of an initiative or a law. Of course, there are many more. So it's important that we do everything that we can to prevent something like this from happening again in the future. Now, on April 30th in Lake Forest, a lady was at a park with her family. April 30th this year, Lake Forest, at the park with her family about 7:20 at night, and she saw this person, and I'll show you the picture, this person walking in the park towards where children were playing, towards where a lot of children were playing, and he had a video camera with him, or what appeared to her to be a video camera. And she looked at him and recognized him as a registered sex offender that she had seen on the Megan's Law website. Very unusual, by the way. I think that somebody would take a look and recognize, but she did recognize him. They made eye contact, and he turned around and walked towards a tree. And he took a picture of a tree, or appeared to be taking a picture of a tree, and then he walked out, got in his car, and left. She told her husband about it. They went home, and she looked them up on the website, and sure enough, that was him. She went back to the park to warn the parents, and he was there again. And they called the police. There was some contact, again, just no verbal contact, but he walked over to the same tree and dropped some liquid out of a can or something and went back in his car and left. So they called the police. The sheriff came, took the report, and the sheriff then checked the website and checked his records, this man's records, and determined that he was not on parole or probation, and so that was the end of it. End of case. They just wrote the report, closed the report file, and it was over. Now, had there been this law in effect in Lake Forest at the time on April 30th, something could have been done about that. He was identified, he could have been convicted of a misdemeanor, and at the very least, if there was no serious punishment, he could be put on probation and required as a condition of probation not to enter that park or any of their parks during the time that he was on probation. And so I know that since he was not on probation, and that's why nothing could be done, similar to, I think, 32 of the people who are sexual offenders here in Irvine, not on probation or parole. You only had 12 on probation or parole. So there's no law in effect that prevents any of them from entering the park. Now, the law, of course, doesn't have to be exactly like the county ordinance, and it would be fine, if it's not, but I'm thinking that option number 2 might be a little bit too focused, because this person would not be covered. He was convicted of possession of child pornography, so he wouldn't be covered in that, in number 2. And the other thing I noticed that I was thinking about is that serial sexual predator and killer Rodney Alcala, who's been convicted of several murders and sexual assaults, his victims are anywhere from 12 to 33. And I believe that his first victim was not a child, but an adult. Thank you.
Thank you.